Why do we talk to ourselves? Have you ever caught yourself talking out loud when nobody else was around? Maybe you said, "Where did I put my phone?" even though you knew nobody could answer. Or maybe you whispered, "Come on, you can do this," before a big test, a job interview, or a difficult conversation. If you've ever done that, don't worry. You're actually part of a very large club. Most people talk to themselves. Some do it quietly inside their heads. Others say things out loud without even realizing it. But why? Are we a little crazy? Or is there something surprisingly useful happening inside our brains? Today, we're going to find out why humans talk to themselves, why it can actually make you smarter, and why your brain sometimes feels like it has two different people living inside it. Let's dive in. Imagine you're cooking dinner. You open the fridge. You grab some vegetables. Then suddenly you stop and say, "Wait, where's the cheese?" Nobody is in the room. Yet you still ask the question out loud. That seems strange. But your brain wasn't asking another person. It was asking itself. Talking out loud helps organize your thoughts. It's almost like turning invisible ideas into real objects that your brain can hold onto more easily. In fact, psychologists have found that speaking instructions aloud often improves focus and memory. That's why many people naturally say things like, "Keys, wallet, phone," before leaving the house. They're not being weird. They're helping their brains stay organized. Children do this even more. Watch a 4-year-old building with blocks. You might hear, "This one goes here." "No, not that one." "Oh, I need the blue block." It sounds like they're talking to nobody, but they're actually teaching themselves how to think. Psychologist Lev Vygotsky believed this kind of private speech is incredibly important. Children first learn by talking with adults. Eventually, they begin talking to themselves. Later, those spoken words become silent thoughts. So your inner voice may actually be the grown-up version of conversations you had as a child. Pretty amazing, right? Now here's something funny. Have you ever argued with yourself? Maybe you thought, "I should go to the gym." Then another voice answered, "Nah, tomorrow." One part of you wants to save money. Another wants pizza. One part says sleep. Another says watch one more episode. Sometimes your brain feels like a committee that can't agree on anything. That's because different brain systems often compete with each other. One system wants immediate rewards. Another thinks about the future. Talking to yourself helps those systems negotiate. It's almost like becoming your own referee. Athletes do this all the time. Professional tennis players, basketball stars, Olympic runners. You'll often hear them say things like, "Stay focused. Keep moving. You've got this." This isn't just motivation. Studies suggest positive self-talk can improve concentration, confidence, and even physical performance. Instead of letting panic take over, they're giving their brains clear instructions. Your words influence your attention, and attention influences performance. But not all self-talk is helpful. Sometimes your inner voice becomes your biggest critic. "I'm going to fail. I'm so stupid. Everyone thinks I'm embarrassing." The strange part? We often speak to ourselves in ways we'd never speak to our best friend. Imagine your friend forgot their wallet. Would you say, "You're completely useless"? Probably not. Yet many people say much worse things to themselves every day. Psychologists call this negative self-talk. Over time, it can increase anxiety and lower confidence. The good news? Your inner voice can be trained. One trick psychologists recommend is talking to yourself in the third person. Instead of saying, "I can do this," try saying, "Come on, Alex. You've handled harder things." Research suggests this creates a little emotional distance. It feels like receiving advice from another person, even though it's still coming from you. It sounds strange, but it actually works surprisingly well. Now let's talk about something even stranger. Have you ever replayed an entire conversation in your head? Hours after it happened? Maybe someone said something annoying. Suddenly you're in the shower, giving the perfect comeback. Your brain loves unfinished business. Scientists call this mental rehearsal. It's your brain practicing future conversations and learning from past ones. Sometimes that's useful. Sometimes it keeps you awake until 2 a.m. Either way, it's another form of talking to yourself. Here's a question. Do animals talk to themselves? Not in the way humans do. Many animals communicate. Birds sing. Dogs bark. Whales call to one another. But humans seem unique in having complex internal conversations about the past, the future, imaginary situations, and even philosophical questions. You can literally spend 20 minutes arguing with yourself about what movie to watch. That's a very human talent. Talking to yourself also helps solve problems. Think about putting together furniture. Many people suddenly become narrators. Okay, this piece goes here. No, that's upside down. There has to be another screw. By putting thoughts into words, your brain slows down just enough to process complicated information. It's like hearing your own instructions. Sometimes the answer becomes obvious the moment you say it aloud. That's why programmers, engineers, artists, and scientists often mumble while working. They're not distracted. They're thinking. Your brain also uses self-talk to control emotions. Imagine you're about to give a speech. Your heart is racing. Your hands feel sweaty. Then you quietly say, "It's okay. Just breathe, one sentence at a time." Those simple words can reduce panic because they redirect your attention away from fear and toward action. In a way, you're becoming your own coach. But here's the fascinating part. You don't always notice your inner voice. Right now, if I ask you, "What are you thinking?" you instantly become aware of thoughts that were already happening. Your brain constantly produces an internal stream of words, images, memories, and ideas. Most of the time, it runs quietly in the background, like background music in a movie. Only when something important happens do you suddenly hear it clearly. Not everyone experiences self-talk the same way. Some people have constant verbal conversations inside their heads. Others think mostly in pictures. Some switch between words and images depending on the situation. There isn't one correct way to think. Human brains are wonderfully different. Here's another interesting fact. People often talk to themselves more when they're alone. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're lonely. In fact, healthy self-talk can improve planning, emotional control, and decision-making. It's like having a portable brainstorming partner that never leaves. Of course, everyone occasionally gets stuck in negative thought loops. The goal isn't to stop talking to yourself. The goal is to become a kinder conversation partner. So next time you catch yourself saying, "Where are my keys?" or "You can do this," don't feel embarrassed. You're using one of the most powerful tools your brain has. That little voice isn't proof that something is wrong. It's proof that your brain is constantly organizing, learning, planning, and helping you navigate the world. In many ways, the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. So here's one last question before you go. If your inner voice suddenly became a real person standing next to you, would you enjoy having a conversation with it? Or would it be time to teach that voice to be a little kinder? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed exploring the amazing mysteries of the human mind, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. What does your inner voice say most often? See you in the next video.